All right, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Happy New Year, just about. For maybe some of you in the world, it is already, or getting there. And we'd like to say welcome. And if you're already entered into 2021, then you're ahead of us. We're catching up to you and on our way. I'm just going to invite Ross in here, bring him in. If you're just showing up, please go ahead and let us know in the chat.
Hey, everyone.
Shiva. Let us know where you're from, and let's see what kind of worldwide and New Year's Eve event that we're putting on. That'd be pretty cool. And if it's your first time, go ahead and enter hashtag first time. Hey, Demetrius, missed you last week, buddy. Enter for hashtag first time. It's your first time. If you're a repeat, if you've been here more than once, go ahead and do hashtag hooked on hacking, hashtag hooked on hacking. And if you're catching this at some time in the future and doing the replay, just give us a hashtag replay so that we know that you're coming in on the replay and we can catch up to any comments you may make during the stream. All right, to start today's stream today, after you do those hashtags, we got them coming in now. So we got India, hey, Shiva, okay, good. And Cape Town, South Africa, that's nice. Seattle, all right. Okay, London.
Hey, hometown.
Yeah. Dan, well, nice to meet you, Dan. Welcome in, and hope you enjoy the stream today. And Austria, nice. I don't think we've had Austria before.
Oh, good. Fantastic.
And okay, so the other thing I want to have an amazing New Year 2021, everyone, from Demetrius. You too, Demetrius. Hashtag well-being. Nice. Hey, Jolene. All right. So as you guys are coming in and loading up here, to start the stream today, we'd love it if you could share in your comments, either right now or throughout the stream. Share 3 things you were grateful for in 2020. Okay, so I know there's a lot of stuff that people can, focus on that may have been bad or negative or not positive or whatever.
Yeah.
But go ahead and share 3 things that you were grateful for in 2020, and also share 3 intentions you're setting for 2021. Okay, and that would be great, just so we kind of get an idea of where everybody's at, and also get an idea of what we can put together for you in 2021 to help you achieve some of those intentions and make those intentions manifest easier for you. Stick around for the entire stream today. By the end of today, the stream today, I'll share with you a simple 5-step process that will have you surrounded with a champion team of infinity hackers that will accelerate your ability to achieve whatever you set your mind to in 2021 or beyond and beyond. All right. Do remember, if you haven't yet, let me just get that link. If you haven't yet done it, that we suggest that you join in on the group. There we go. It's coming in. It should be in the link should come in the comment section there. Join in the group if you haven't, or if you're not watching from the group. We suggest that in 2021 that you start watching more and more from the group, because in the group we are going to be doing definitely much more group specific content. We'll be doing our Thursdays regular here, but we're going to be doing additional things for the group members. And so if you're not a part of the group, you may miss out on some of that. Also, when you join in the group, you'll be asked to answer 3 questions. Just go ahead and answer those questions, and once you answer them, you'll be automatically accepted into as a member. If you don't answer them, you do get bounced and rejected from the system. So please do answer them. And the 3rd question on there is about whether you want to be a part of our VIP or not. Please answer that, and then the VIP is going to get extra bonuses, because the VIP is basically, we see that as people that are serious about really, playing with all the tools and all the resources that we give you to really hack the matrix. and create the reality that you prefer, and to become unstoppable. That's really the objective of all of this. All right. Now, being unstoppable, as things happen for you, we love to hear your stories about what goes on from the things you did. I know I got a couple of messages for people who really enjoyed the stream last week and the meditation, the guided meditation we did, which, by the way, will be for members only. I clipped out just the meditation part of the session last week. I clipped that, and that'll be posted later today in the units section for where all the replays are, so you can catch that there. And there's some other ones you told me about too, right, Ross?
Yeah, absolutely. But going back to the meditation, I think we're going to try and make that a down somehow at some point in time. That's going to ultimately end up as a download for everybody too, so you can like put it on your phone, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
That's kind of the intention with that, because we got tons of comments about that, so that was very, very powerful. And I hadn't heard that before, so that was one that Gary had
world premiere.
Just finished putting together. World premiere. So that was exceptional. I just raved about it after we got off the show. I'm just like, that was amazing. That was just crazy. And so it was really nice. And from another replay, somebody put in, and this is from a replay, not even from the live. But it was like, thank you. I recently got very mad in a discussion with a friend, and today's topic made me realize that I had a damaged narrative. I quickly emailed my friend and apologized for getting mad. My favorite takeaway was not to react but to rather respond without the emotions of fear. So
nice.
That was like, wow.
That's a great hack.
This is somebody that's putting this work.
That's great.
Exactly. And then another one was, Gary and Ross, love your teachings and your clear path to hack the matrix as opportunities are in abundance. It is a well full of fragrant water that never runs dry. The more you build your company or what you do with true intention to be of service bigger than you, and the opportunities just flow, but we have to work on it with dedication and sincerity, and you will see it grow. And it's very, very true. So that was...
Yeah, and growing nice. It is. I mean,
very,
the
very, very
group
nice.
is the reflection of that for us. I mean, we think we're 3 months. Are we 3 months yet? Are we just about, under?
Yeah.
Just about 3 months. Like tomorrow is our actual 3 months of starting the group. And this week we hit 5,000, which is great. 5,000 members in that time frame. And
well, and it's really going back to what you said earlier about people who are joining and such. I ran a report yesterday or the day before, and the system just tells us a number of how many people didn't fill out the questionnaire, and so they were just dropped. So I would say that's probably 40% of the people that have tried to get in, but they just like, I don't need to do that, and just kind of shrugged it off, and the system just like, well, these guys aren't serious, so that's it. So it is really, really important. And the question, we read all of those, and when people are, when it asks you, what are you looking for out of this group? I mean, I stress this so much. I mean, we're reading those and going, oh, okay, well, look, and you start to see a pattern. It's like more people are looking for this, less people are looking for this. And so then Gary and I
even if you don't know yet, even if you don't know yet when you're filling those out,
that's
put
fine.
Some comments so we know there's interaction going, and you'll get accepted into the system. I mean, it doesn't mean you have to have these, earth-shattering, epiphanies of, oh yeah, this. That's not really what we're looking for. We just want to know that there's interaction.
Yeah, and some people just want to wait and see.
At different levels, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So last week we spoke about joy. And today's topic somewhat resonates with joy from kind of a different perspective. So as we said, the disruptor of joy is comparison and frustration. And in many cases, that frustration comes from trying to do it all by yourself. And so our thought is, why not share the load? And for that matter, create a core team of individuals that lighten the burden and can help you streamline things that will just make life easier for you. And so we hear about business teams and sales teams and sports teams, but do you have a life team? Seriously, do you have a team that is designed to help you with your life? So we hear about creating the best teams at work and in sports and for other arenas of business. But have you ever thought about building a team for the success of your life? So we can think of our life as a team of people who are the most significant to you. The team members of your life can be alive or they may no longer be living, but their actions and philosophy may linger with you. They can present you in your life or people who you've known in the past. Sometimes they're father figures, mother figures, grandpas, grandmas. These are the people who have had the most influence on your life. And yes, you've heard me earlier, they can be dead too. I don't even think I've told Gary this, but I have a monthly board meeting. Some very well-known and very dead people. And they're people that I've admired.
Hey, Ross, I don't know if it's me, but I think you're chipping out. And actually, I think I lost your audio. Yeah.
For years.
Hey, Ross? I think you're chipping out there, buddy. Not sure what's going on. All right. All right, let's
and like, sudden,
No, I think Ross seems to think he's keep going. Anybody else having issues with Ross audio, or is it just me? A little fuzzy. Okay. Now I lost his video. Okay. Freezing. All right. Okay, give us a second here. I'm going to see if I can, I'm going to see if we can get him back. 1 second. Yeah. So let's move him. All right, we're going to see if we can get him back in here. All right, in the meantime, let me go through some of these comments. You guys can tell me about it. Let me just, there's a few first timers, which is awesome. All right, so Sally wants to stay in peace for 2021. Hey, Julie from Canada. Where in Canada are you from, Julie? And Demetrius, gift of life, good health. Oh, beautiful. Let me see if I can. Okay, we'll just keep waiting for Ross there. All right, and Shiba wants to learn new things, skills, stay at home, and think about yourself. Yeah, it's a good time. And definitely one of the things COVID has done for a lot of people has got them to a couple of things. One is to do a lot of self-reflection and really look inward, and to get comfortable with being in it with themselves, right? And I think that's important, to be okay with being what I call at home. People say home is where the heart is and all that kind of stuff. And to me, it's wherever I am is home. So I can pick up and go anywhere and be totally comfortable and okay, because I'm okay with me. And then in that, if you can surround yourself with an awesome team of other life hackers, Infinity Matrix hackers, then it becomes much more fun. Okay, so I think Ross is trying to sort his stuff out there. All right, and so we got I am grateful. Okay, so Paula, here we go. I'm grateful for wisdom. Nice. Yeah. Well, and there was also that opportunity which COVID brought for us last year, was the opportunity to search for something other than, the next Netflix series that we're going to watch. Right? That started off that way, but then you kind of get, okay, well, now what, right? You can only watch so much of that stuff and numb the brain so much that many people start to sort out other means of improving and bettering themselves, whereas they wouldn't have otherwise. That way they would have been caught up in the day-to-day 9 to 5 rabbit, what is it, they call it, the rat race that's out there, or the hamster wheel, right? Running and running and running. So animals, life, energy, healing. Good. Nice. Okay. And Paula wants to bring in love, peace, and new opportunities. Great. Yeah, it's a great intention to have that and to set that out there and keep that intention until it shows up, right? And here's the thing is, it's not coincidental. There's very few coincidental things that we do in the streams, in a sense of, the message you get and the order in which we put them out is intentional, right? We're not just randomly picking topics. We're looking at the topics that you guys give us and then thinking, okay, if we were to put it in a way that would build on what we previously done, so that if they went through 1 and then 2 and then 3 and 4, and they went through all the different streams, they would be building a tool set, if you will, that helps them to just really make things easier in life, to flow more, to bring more joy, to bring more harmony, to really start to really craft and master the art of creating your reality, right? And becoming unstoppable within that, regardless of what goes on. So, so keeping those intentions and taking what you're writing down here, for example, Shiva said, career, money, become an NLP trainer. Good for you. Nice. And awesome relationships. Nice. Yeah. And so if you take the streams that we've been doing and apply those to these different areas, you're going to start to see you'll be able to hack the career money matrix element. You'll be able to hack the trainer element, and whether it's NLP or a combination of other things. And those of you that don't know what NLP is, we may have conversations about that in the future. It's neuro-linguistic programming, which in my opinion is one of the primary ways to hack the matrix. And we do a lot of NLP stuff in here. Awesome relationships. Again, if you can take the elements that we've done, and today is a good one for the relationships part of things, to expand your mindset around it, and then be able to craft it and create the reality that you prefer around in those particular areas, or what we call, Ross and I call, they're different universes that we experience, right? So the universe of career and money, the universe of career, or universe of a trainer, or universe of a relationship, and even within that, there's many universes which have their own infinity matrix going on, right? And so you can really utilize what we're giving you in a variety of different ways. Intentions. Okay, what we got there? Demetrius is going to meditate every day. Nice. In order to increase all your energy. What if, and this is something we're going to present in the new year, what if you could be in a constant state of meditation, right, and still function in the world around you, right? And in that state of meditation, at least at the neurological level, that constant state allows you to adjust to any frequency you need to have the reality that you want wake up in front of you, right? That's something we're going to be presenting in the new year, and we're pretty excited about it. We call it the infinity process, and we'll go into more detail about that. Okay, and then journaling every day. Journaling is such a powerful, powerful thing. I mean, you're on the money there, buddy. A good stream, I think it's the second one or the third one. I can't remember. It's the one on that we did on your point of view. Okay, Ross is coming back here. It was the one we did on the point of view. I'll bring you in a sec, Ross. Yeah, do you want to do a voice check for me? I'll hear you, but they won't. Maybe he doesn't hear me yet. Okay. Yeah, so anyways, the journaling one, a good one to do that is the questions influence my point of view one. The second or third stream we did on point of view, where we talk about, you know, the questions you ask, and that's a good way to do journaling, is to ask specific questions about the reality you want to wake up and into, and great way to do an exercise. Yes, walk out in nature. Again, we got some really cool stuff for you guys, all in alignment with those things, and some hacks you can do with that. One thing I would suggest is in 2021 and beyond is to get more in touch with nature, for sure. And in nature, connect with Mother Earth. I believe that Mother Earth is sending this virus as a message for us to reconnect with what's important on a whole bunch of different levels. And one of them is Mother Earth. So go out and reconnect with Mother Earth. The other thing you want to do is I would suggest that you also connect with the other players in the matrix, if you will, right? The people around you by doing acts of kindness, and doing more of them and more consistently, so you're connecting in a different way, not with the intention of getting anything back, just doing acts of kindness because it's the right thing to do, and to look for opportunities for that to happen. A great experience of example of this is I was out shopping for some Christmas gifts, and I was in a store, and as I was in the store, I went up to till, and I was paying on my end, and she was running my stuff through, and there was a young lady beside me who she was trying to, run her card, but it wouldn't accept it the way because I think she was doing it through her phone or something like that. She was doing the pay through the phone, and the system wouldn't take it. And so she was like, okay, well, can you hold it for me? Can you go? And I said, oh, no problem. And so I just paid it for her. And it's like, it's no big deal. It's, it wasn't a big bill. I just paid it. And it was like, wow, really? And so just random opportunities for that. Look for them. They show up. They're around there. If your perception is open for it, those things happen all the time. Then, the reverse happened for my wife. She was at a store, the day after, or was it the day after or the day before? And then she told me the story that, she was in the store and she had forgotten her bank card. I think it was at home, or in the car. I can't remember, but she was at the till and she was like, oh no, I don't have anything. And the lady beside her said, oh, no problem, I can run that for you. And so she offered to pay for the stuff. So again, it comes back, right? So let's do more of that. And then the third thing is to open up to the expansion of, so connect on three levels. One is the ground, one is the people around you, and then the connection up to whatever you feel is greater than you. And realize that you're still greater than that ultimately. But those are three things I would suggest for 2021 and beyond. And we may do a stream specifically on things like that as well. There's just so much and so little time. So we're picking and choosing what we're doing in. Okay, you want to do a sound check, Ross? I'll do it with you before we get you on the stream. No, I don't hear you. No. So just because there you go. Now I got you. Okay. All right, so I'm going to bring you back in. So the last thing I heard you talking about was the dead people you talked to. Okay, hold on. I'm just going to bring you in. One second.
No, so what I've got a really weak signal. We lost our internet completely, and then I've got a fraction of what my normal speed is, so bear with me.
All right.
So this was a process that I learned, gosh, I can't remember how long ago and who actually taught it to me. But what you're doing is you're connecting with the energy of people you know from the past, whether and again they can be from the past and still alive, but they can also be dead because you're not connecting with them per se, you're connecting with their energy. And you just kind of you go to sleep with these questions in your mind. You go to the sleep with the intention of connecting with these people, my board members, and you present these questions, and and then you'll wake up and generally you'll have a solution. And there's lots of different variations of this that, I mean, Einstein used to do this, and I believe
Well, let's
Isaac
teach that
Newton used to
as
do
a
this.
technique in the as a hack in the future. Let's put that down as a hack. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually it's very, very cool.
Mhm.
And that the more you do it on a regular basis, and like I said, I just do this like once a month, pretty close to that. I have my intention set out, and yeah, it works really nice. So anyhow, um, but you still want to have a team like this, of people that you can, meet with. And let me get caught up with where exactly I'm at. So, blah, 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 blah. I'm just like looking at my notes so I don't lose my place because everything I had to reboot everything here. So, so we have these people in your life. You're going to generally what I'm talking about from now on are going to be people that people that are in your life, and you want to create a group of people um, that you can meet regularly with, that can hash out, each other's challenges. And though it's harder to get a group together, and I've tried these, and they're really nice for brainstorming and come up with different solutions, but it's harder to organize. If the group that I had, we had it for probably a couple of years, and it was about 6 people. But we wanted to do it our intention was to do this on a monthly basis, but it really started like, oh, I can't make it, and this person can't make it. And so that was difficult. So what I did is I went back to creating individuals, and a lot of them were from that particular group. Um, so when you do this, it gives you other people's perspectives. You're basically tapping into other people's their experiences, and you've all done this in one way or another. Sometimes by accident, you're talking with a friend or an associate. Oh yeah, I had that problem. Da 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 da, and you're like, oh, let me try to apply that. But most of us don't do it intentionally. It just kind of becomes a random conversation. And what our intention with presenting this to you now is that you want to find those people on purpose. And there's a specific roles that each of those people are going to play. And you don't want to find you don't want everyone in your team, your life team, to be exactly of the same mind as you. Okay. Remember, the strength of a team lies in its differences. And this is where different experiences, different ideas, and uh, different goals for their lives. So it's kind of like the 80-20 rule. So you kind of want to have at least one pessimist or one realist to slightly balance out the optimism. A lot of us we tend to gather with people who are of like minds, but at the same time, that can limit you. So you want to have that one person in there that's kind of like, well, you really should think of it like this instead. That's not going to work. Well, I'm not a big believer of that's not going to work. I'm a believer of what can we do to make it work. Okay, but they do bring you back. They kind of ground you, and that's an important part of the whole process, is that you have that person that still keeps your group grounded. And so that's kind of a brief outline of the idea. Now we want to start developing and forming that foundation. And first of all, you want to get inspired. And Gary just put up on the screen, this is my own personal motto. Okay, so for example, this was written by a gentleman by the name of Stephen Grellet almost 400 years ago. And King George had this engraved on a plaque, and it sat on his desk. And it goes, I shall pass through this world but once. Any good, therefore, that I can do, or any kindness that I can show any human being, let me do it now. Let me not defer nor neglect it, for I shall not pass this way again. And I don't expect, you don't require everybody on your advisory team to know this. It's like, well, this is the motto, and this is what we're all going to follow. But I want to have a sense that they are unconsciously following its connotation. Gary is a great example. His life has always been themed around this type of thinking. The story he just told you when he's at the shopping, that's he's just like this. Okay. And we gravitated together, a long time ago. And we've always, stayed together because we just gelled. We both have an overall similar purpose in the direction that we both wish to follow, but our respect for each other's differences allow us to blend ideas into better ideas, always knowing that we are continually heading in the same direction. It's a great feeling. You might want to come up with a theme song. Again, myself, I don't have a song per se, but I have a certain genre of music that I like that kind of gets me revved up. And that's what you're looking for. You're just like, oh, I'm just not in the mood. I know a guy that just loves the Rocky theme, and he plays it every morning. That's his thing. And I'm like, cool. That's great. That's not for me. I like it. I said, but every morning, that's a little bit tough for me. But what you want to do is you want to find something that's significant to you, to your experiences. And this is why I'm not giving you real specific details. I'm giving you examples, because all of this, you don't want to copy me. You don't want to copy Gary. You don't want to copy, this person or this person. This is you. This is your life. Okay. So sometimes, as far as your music, it could just be a certain type of music. And that's kind of where I'm at, is there's this particular type of music. So is everybody with me? Give me a thumbs up. Make me feel loved, and you're going to forgive me for fading out there for a sec. So there we go. Thank you. I feel better. So each teammate or advisor plays a different role. There are some people who are sometimes on your team and sometimes not. They're not always available, and you don't expect them to. And sometimes they're not going to be helpful because that's not their strength. Or these people might turn into something that you just don't need to have sorted out. So, but when they're your strength, they have that. This is the person I'm going to talk to about this topic and such. And then you just wait, and you just, hey, when I can connect with you, I've got a problem I want to work out. Okay, so they're interchangeable, and many organizations employ highly intelligent, qualified people in the assumption that they will automatically combine their collective brain power to produce magical results. Yet such groups often fail to cash in on their talents with poor creativity, lost efficiency, and sometimes making overly risky decision making. And this is when you, as the leader, must control the flow. So you're going to take in this input, and then you're going to kind of sift through it. And no, that's not really going to work. That does work. This part works. How can we take this piece and make it more me? Um, so okay, so someone's asking, do you have team meetings? And not really group meetings. As I said, group meetings are hard to. You can get them going for a couple, maybe a couple of months, but ultimately, all of a sudden one person can't make it, then another person can't make it. It's really hard to get them to gel. Even on conference calls, a lot of times I've done a ton of brainstorming calls, but over time people just like, something else came up, or I have this meeting, or I have something else that I've got to do. And which they're, in many cases it's always the same person, so they're not really dedicated. But this is a life team, and each of those members have specialties that positively are going to reflect in your life, so they've got to be the right person. People you can call for specific advice and consultation. And so this is going to be on kind of on an individual basis. But remember, this is not a one-way track. So unless you're paying a professional, you're required to be there for your teammates as well. So that's the back and forth. And again, you may have a specialty that or in a genre or an area that you are better at, and that's what and everyone's going to recognize that. A lot of times, what we've done is when we're first introducing these, with people, it's like, listen, this is what I'm really good at, or this is what I'm really good at, and then you're going to use them, and I use the term "use them" very lightly, because you're not using these people. I simply can't stress that enough. You have to be there for them as well. So there are specific areas. The most important, in my opinion, is an accountability partner. They're a must. And these absolutely should be regular calls. It's critical. Weekly are the best. You should talk to your accountability partner more than anyone else. Set a day, set a time, and stick to it. I have an accountability partner, same person. I think we're going on 12 or 13 years now. Okay. Unless we're traveling or on vacation, we talk once a week. Mostly the same day, generally the same time. There's a little bit of a variance there, but I have that time set aside. It's in my calendar. I don't book anything else there. If something does come up and there's a conflict, then I will call my accountability partner and say, hey, will this work? Can I move it to this time? And I've never had a problem. But you don't cancel. You don't say, hey, I can't make my call. Let's just put it off till the next week. You don't do that, because now you have 2 weeks worth of work to do. Accountability partners, this is where you are making notes. So if you set aside an hour, 30 minutes is for you, 30 minutes is for them. So in other words, I'm going to have my list. This is what I'm going to go for. This is what I want to accomplish this following week. Then after that week, the first thing I'm going to do is say, okay, I accomplished this, I accomplished this, I accomplished this. I didn't get this done. I ran into a snag. I need to find a solution. Does that person have a solution? Maybe, maybe not. But then I'm going to call somebody else and say, hey, what do you think about this? Okay. But with an accountability partner, there are no excuses. No excuses. You can advise each other. They will guard your accountability as you are guarding their accountability. And you'll be amazed. You will be amazed on how much more you get accomplished when you have to report to somebody. A lot of us are just kind of, we just do it on our own. And then we're like, it's no big thing. I'll get this thing done. and it doesn't work that way. It really, really doesn't. You are on guard. And I'm telling you, there is no worse feeling in the world than letting down your accountability partner. Seriously. So these are the person, you're going to give them a responsibility. You're going to say, you are responsible for protecting my dreams. And my dreams are what are most precious to me. Okay. So, um, who do you know that can do that? I recommend it not be a life partner. I recommend it not be somebody who is too close to you, somebody who is a little bit not on the, a little bit out, it can be a good friend, but somebody who um, feels comfortable saying, get your act together. What's going on? Okay, the first time they say, it's no big thing, not, you're good, then you should step back and say, no, you are supposed to hold me accountable. Okay. So, second on the list is you want to find a good doctor. You want to find or physician, somebody who believes in the style of medicine that best resonates with you. A naturopathic doctor, a chiropractor, a herbalist, or a Western trained. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want, okay? But you need to find somebody that is going to be accountable for your health. All of this is about accountability, okay? Your health should be and is your most precious commodity, because without it, a lot of things just aren't going to work well. So you need to entrust it with somebody you absolutely know has your best interest in mind. Okay. My personally, with a lot of the Western medicine, this cattle call that they put you through. I mean, all of a sudden they're going to figure out how good I'm going to do in 15 minutes, if that. I have a hard time with that. So, but that's just me. But anyhow, yes, a good doctor, an exercise coach, a workout or a walking partner. Okay. If you have a very, very specific goal in mind for your physical well-being, get a coach. Again, like in accountability, this is somebody you're going to pay. They're going to hold you accountable. They're going to scream at you. They're going to tell you to push and push and push. And they're also going to show you how to do it properly. But if you just have a good friend, a good buddy, that you want to go to the gym with and work out, that's awesome. Or a walking partner. My walking partners are my dogs. I have two huskies, and they simply will not tolerate me skipping a walk. They will sit there and literally talk to me. And so they push me to get out there and walk, and we do 1 or 2 miles a day. So, but again, your physical well-being is crucial. It will make everything work better for you. A nutritionist is another one. This doesn't necessarily have to be somebody that you communicate all the time. A nutritionist can be, it can be somebody that online that you follow. So all of this is, we're not talking about things that you actually have to spend a lot of money on. These are people that you like their work, you like their books, you like their videos. It's great if you have that connection where you can actually talk to them and ask questions. But all of these ones that I just went over with, they're all about keeping you properly fueled and moving and really, really taking care of your physical well-being. Next one is going to be a spiritual guide. Someone you've learned from or learned the most from. Again, this doesn't have to be somebody that you can connect with all the time, but that really, really helps. Somebody that you can have a conversation with, somebody who thinks the same, has the same basic feelings that you do. It can, again, it can be somebody that you read their books, you see them on online. So, I mean, the possibilities of today's technology, it opens these wide open. I mean, it's amazing. Look what we're doing right now. So, and what the other thing it does is it holds you accountable because there's no more excuses. It's just like, yeah, well, it was recorded, it was here, so why are you not doing this? Why are you not going and seeing whoever it might be? Um, and that can actually be somebody that you've never met. It can be somebody you respect. It can be a religious figure that you have read their books or seen their sermons, whatever the case may be. So you can have more than one, but it's someone whose wisdom you can reflect on. Someone who you're like, that just really resonates with me. In some cases, you may need and it's not on this list, but you may need a relationship professional. So if personal challenges have arisen in your life, don't think that things will just work out. Okay. They don't. Okay. Keep this in mind. So, and let's not disregard, which is not on this list because it's not for everybody, but let's not disregard your significant other. Okay. If you're in a relationship, remember that this person plays a key role in your life. They must be honored and respected. And for they are the person that holds you up in the hard times and celebrates you during those good times. They're the ones you share your fears with, and they're the ones that you share your dreams with.
Let me just interject.
They are the ones you hug when you feel scared. Yeah, what, Gary?
Interject here on the
Sure.
partner piece is that I think it's important also for people to remember that your life partner, many times we project on them that they should be everything, and they shouldn't be. They
That's right.
serve a particular role in your experience in the matrix, so don't put it on them or expect them to be all of the pieces. They're going to satisfy certain aspects of what you need as a being to grow. Honor and respect that limit, right? And then look for what else you need outside of that, because then it becomes one of the issues is that if all your eggs are in one basket and something happens to that basket, then so I think that's a key thing to remember about the life partner piece to remember, because when you have so many expectations from that life partner, if they don't fulfill that, then resentment starts to happen. Then that's where the separation starts to occur, and that's where conflict happens. So
Exactly.
just to be aware of that, and I think that's important piece, even though life partner was not one of the pieces we were going to focus on in this particular stream.
Right. Well, and that's why I said earlier is your life partner shouldn't be, your accountability partner.
Yeah.
That it's not, it's like when I was teaching my wife to ski, one of the the big rules of teaching somebody to ski is you never teach somebody that's close to you. Because it's such a frustrating, in the beginning, it can be very frustrating. It can cause a lot of problems.
Totally.
So yeah, they can be your business partner, but even in some of those cases, you have to really, really make that decision.
There's a specific dynamic to that, right? And you got to figure
Exactly. It's a whole different dynamic.
absolutely,
And,
you're
and you don't really want them to be an active part of this team that we're putting together. That's why they're not on the list.
Yeah.
They're on an island all their own. They're part of you but separate, and they're absolutely a critical part of your life's journey.
Yeah.
And maybe Gary and I will put something together about this down the road, because it's there's so many different aspects to it, but don't isolate them from everything that we've just talked about. And but at the same time, they fill a different type of role, and so just keep that in mind. Now, if you're not in a relationship, then find a confidant whom you trust, but keep these basic parameters as a guideline if it ever comes time to form a relationship with somebody. And So anyhow, the next on the list, I believe, is the business advisors. So preferably, if you're going to get a business advisor, this is somebody who is already where you want to be. If you are going to create a widget A, and you get the advice from somebody who's never had anything to do with widget A, then there could be a disconnect there. So it's ideal that you get somebody who's already where you want to be.
Or has
And
done that and moved on, right?
what's that?
Or has done that and moved on to something else.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Somebody, but they have experience
Yeah.
with what you are trying, what you're trying to do. So, and again, you have the internet. There's lots of good people on the internet. There's lots of great group sessions, or you can ask a professional to lunch. Successful people love to talk about their success. Or you can pay, a business professional for coaching calls. There's lots of different ways to go about this, but make sure that they are where you want to be. So you don't. The whole idea is that you don't want to relive their mistakes. You want to avoid their mistakes. It's just like raising kids. I tell my kids, I says, listen, I've made all these mistakes, so you learn from my mistakes. And I try to pass that on to the people I know. I mean, a lot of the information that Gary and I put together is based off of our own mistakes. This is like, oh, yeah, I think everybody else needs to know about this too. So, and then there's other people's teams. You can, become part of somebody else's team. If you hear somebody talking about, a group that they're with, say, hey, can I get in on this? Just, one or two times just to kind of see if it's somebody or something that that really works for me. And so there's, again, you have to apply yourself. You got to put yourself out there. And then, and so, and then you want to see what those other teams are doing. If you know somebody who has already put a life team together, talk to them. Well, how did you do this? How did you go about it? So, it's a process. This isn't something that you're going to put together in a week.
Yeah, and the hack we're going to do today is really kind of give them a
Yeah.
starting point for that anyways. So
Exactly. So, and as I said, group settings can be a little easier to go with because you're not quite the center of attention. They're a little less stressful. But as I said earlier, doing those and keeping them together is a challenge. It's not impossible. It's just more challenging. And then that can lead to, kind of a more of that, raising that frustration level a little bit. So, because the popular idea has always been the wisdom of the crowd, the idea that many brains working together can correct for each other's errors and judgments. And there is some solid science behind that. It's just a little bit more work. And it might be a great way to kind of get your toe in the water to, kind of get a feel of how this type of process can be beneficial. And if you can get in on a group, that's great. It's a great place to start and then grow from there. But it's a nice foundation. And in that group, you might say, I really like Joe over there. So I'm going to go talk to Joe. And then maybe he can be that one person that's going to fit in this actual team that you're putting together. So now I want everybody to pay very, very close attention. I want you to put in the comments that you are focused for what I'm about to say. I am focused, or just focus. Pay very close attention. This is important. Everything that I'm talking about and everything that Gary's going to show you, this is about investing something very valuable, something you cherish, something that many of us take for granted. Time. You are committing to investing your time in yourself. Who does this now? Who invests their time in their self? I mean, serious time, like I've just described. Now, here's the rules with everything I just talked about. If you lose interest or enthusiasm in your life project, so will your team.
Even on an energetic level, right? So
exactly.
So if you've got to think the energy you bring to the table is the energy you're going to get back and build upon. So if you're coming in with a low energy in that relationship, then that's where you're starting at. And if it's dwindling, then you're always dwindling, right?
Right. If you come unprepared, so will your team. If you do not show your appreciation for their time and their commitment, they'll stop giving it.
Yep.
You are now a leader. You are a CEO of a company called you. From this moment on, before you think about giving them an excuse, look in the mirror and tell yourself first, and see if even you believe it. So before each meeting, raise your vibration of gratitude. Feel and resonate with your future outcome. The time is now. The moment is yours. Allow the Infinity Matrix to do what it does best. Connect you with that which you need and what you want.
And if you bring that to the table and you find that one of those team members does lose energy or does lose enthusiasm, then at least you're bringing your best self to the table, and you can then assess whether you have moved beyond the need for that particular person for that particular role, and then can search someone else. But you're coming from a pure place instead of an excuse place.
Exactly. That's what leaders do. And you are the leader of your life. So make the best of it. Mm-hmm. Okay. And Gary's going to now rock your world and show you exactly how to make that happen.
Such high expectations. I'm going to rock your world. Man.
That's right. Because I came with gratitude. I came with a resignation.
Right. So,
no, wait a minute. So, but with that in mind, though, I believe you called me a prima donna last night.
Yeah. All right. So, all right. So let me start off first by saying I think it's important for us to face the fact that the majority of us on this stream, and even if you're not on the stream and you're coming on later, and in the group and on the page and wherever we're streaming this to, they're the type of people, if you're watching to this point, definitely, you're the type of people who probably at some point in your life realized that you didn't think the way the masses do, right? Maybe you even feel like an alien visiting this planet, or you step into a dimension of reality that's like, whoa. Or this time stream it feels a little out, it feels a little different, it feels or even if you play by the simulation theory, that you're in this simulation that like, wow, how did I get here, or how did I end up in this one, whatever you call it, right? Hold on, I'm gonna take you off here in a second, Ross.
Yep.
And take that image off. And I'm going to bring this in. So you kind of feel like that, right? You're this golden egg in this place where you're just, there's some similarities, so you can relate with aspect of being in that shape and that form, but yet it's different and it's noticeable to at least you, right? I feel that for much of my life, that's me, because I started thinking differently about life, about reality, about human potential, like 39 years ago, right? And there was very small group of people that I could relate with for many years. Number one, because of my age, but also at the time, but also because of the way that I was somehow constructed or wired. I felt isolated. At times, I even questioned myself and wondered if something was wrong with me. Right. And then at other times, I felt something was wrong with everyone else. I didn't realize, I didn't really know where I fit in, or really even if I wanted to. Right. It was like, when I would get around with, family, friends, and colleagues, I would kind of get this look here. Right. They're like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Like, it was, my friends, my family, my colleagues didn't seem to have similar aspirations or outlook on life that I did. Right. And I really worked hard to internally fit into the norm as much as possible without compromising the integrity of who I knew I was. And this went on for years. Right. Until the universe blessed me with a series of synchronicities that took my infinity matrix and it really took it for an amazing spin, right? Which is, that's a story for another stream. But out of those synchronicities came a critical reprogramming of the code for me, right? I was able to surround myself and really realize the value of this, surround myself with a team of what we now call infinity hackers on a similar path. And it was really the beginning of my journey of mastery and evolution of my spirit. Now, this journey is an ongoing journey with a lot of pit stops along the way, and I'm nowhere near what I consider mastery and evolution of my spirit yet. But I'm on my way, right? And so there's a lot of pit stops along the way wherever infinity will end for me, right? And the infinity process, which I talked a little bit about earlier when Ross wasn't on, it brings into awareness that building your team of infinity hackers is one of the ways to accelerate your process of transformation, right? With this team, tribe, community of infinity hackers, whatever you want to label it as, it brings so many advantages. Right? It means you don't have to play alone in the matrix, which is good, right? You have people you can relate with. There's an indescribable feeling that comes when you can communicate with another being and they actually get you, right? They can relate with your views, your experiences, your aspirations. There's almost a sense of, thank goodness I'm not crazy. There are others out there like me, and if they're crazy too, that's okay, because being crazy alone, it doesn't really feel so good, right? And so you go to this type of experience right there, right, where you have more of this. It doesn't mean that the other eggs don't exist. It just means that you have experiences where you can get together with people that seem to be in the same boat as me. They've gone through the exact same struggles, and they've stayed the course, right? They didn't jump off and say, "Oh, this ain't for me. I'm going to go back to the norm." I've always been the one. I'm trying to think of if there's anyone. I mean, there might have been a couple others, but I would say that I've always been the one in my family, amongst my family, friends, even colleagues, who just did things differently. I mean, I spoke differently. I thought differently about, what I was putting out there. I was the one known to have one foot in this reality and another foot in another reality, right? That they couldn't understand or relate with. Right. And truth be told, I was okay with that. Right. I was fortunate to have a clear sense of self when I was very young. But after a while, I started to feel lonely in a crowd of people that I cared about and I knew cared about me. Right. So I started to, and when that happens, I started to have less tolerance and patience for people who were they were happy playing the negative. How much pain, fear, darkness, limitations, and lack can I experience again and again and again? And they kept rehashing it, going back into it without, finding they never hacked their way out of it. They just can't. It doesn't mean you can't have negative experiences or less than positive experiences in what we're talking about. It's, are you choosing to continue that cycle? Are you running that hamster wheel? Or are you finding a hack to get out of it, right? And many of those situations when I saw people in those darkness and limitations, from my perspective, I felt that they many times I considered their life situations to be 1,000 times better than what my life was throwing at me, right? And yet I was always still looking for, how do I hack out of this? How do I hack it? And again, terminology was different then, but that's, as I look back now, it's, I was finding ways to hack out of those things into something better, into a different matrix that was more to my liking, more to my alignment of my core of who I was and who I am, right? And so I needed to find people who could push me, stretch me, and encourage me to be more. And that couldn't come from those that didn't relate, right? I needed to surround myself with mentors who disrupted the status quo, right? What I call now the OGs of hacking the infinity matrix, right? And I believe Tony Robbins to be one of those OGs who did it in a large way in the planet, right? But there's been many throughout the years as well. And I needed I also needed the up and coming hackers who came with fresh and innovative perspectives, and that I would consider more the Bruce Liptons and the and of this era of that information and the hacking coming up that's coming up now, right? And this way, my spirit felt drawn into evolution at times, and at other times it felt it was being pushed and encouraged into my evolution. Right? So it was this flow that was always happening, right? And this is what we want to help you to begin to develop in 2021 and beyond, right? An infinity hacking team that is in complete alignment with the programming that makes your molecules wake up and move with purpose, right? It's a team that when you feel you're going to speak with them, they, number one, they excite the crap out of you, or number two, they scare the crap out of you, right? Right? Because then you're alive, right? It's what it feels like when your entire being is vibrating at a different frequency than its standard living the normal matrix resonance, right? It's when you feel most alive and on purpose, and the entire infinity matrix bends time, space, matter, and energy just for you, right? And so that's what we want to start to create in this process, and the conversation that Ross has been talking about, and the pieces he's been kind of laying down as a foundation. Those are all elements to this. And again, it's not going to be an overnight thing, right? It's going to be some things may happen overnight and shift, and synchronicity may be in your time where this is where it occurs for you because you've done certain things to get there. But for some people, you're gonna have to figure out what's the right code for you, what's the right sequence, what's the right timing, what's the right place. All those things are going to come into play, and the more you join in this team right here in the group and wherever you're watching this, the more you do this, the more you're building a global connective team, right? That we can all have our pockets of light shining up around the world, and then collectively we then start to all play and intermingle in this matrix together, and the ability to be in complete resonance with the shifts and transformations and in alignment with where we all want to choose to experience. It just accelerates, right? It just increases that much more. So if you're ready for today's micro hack, go ahead and type in and I know we've run the course here today. I'm going to try to go through these quick. But if you're sticking around, which it looks like most of you have, which is great, if you're sticking around, go ahead and type in the chat #InfinityTeam. Go ahead, #InfinityTeam, so I know you're ready for the micro hack. And while I wait for those to come in, let me say, this is a team that will be your biggest reflection. Okay, if put together right, they'll be your biggest source of inspiration and the ones who hold you to your highest standards. That's what we're starting to create. That's the reality. There we go. All right. A bunch of #InfinityTeam there. Good. Right. And so, so let's start with step one. So step one, all right, start with setting a goal, an intention, or life objective that feels like it will be a stretch for you to get to, but not so far out there that it seems unattainable. Okay, so let's start with that. And whether you can do that for 2021 or beyond, it could be a bigger type thing. I would suggest for this particular exercise, and you can come back to this and do it with smaller goals, start with a bigger life goal, life objective. Okay. You know, and so, you know, it could be career-wise, it could be maybe someone had said they want to be a NLP trainer. You know, so maybe the intention for you is to get to a place where you're in front of, you know, 500 people or 1,000 people or 10 people, if that's your number, right? Where you're teaching on a regular basis and you're stretching your capacity in that way, right? So that's step number one. Step number two, right, is write down a list of at least 10 characteristics that you would need to embody in order to achieve that goal. Okay, so maybe you need the characteristic of humor and finding humor in things. I mean, the characteristics of you know, knowing when and when not to be in a state of logic and reason or in total creativity. You know, so logic and reason, creativity, or maybe what you're doing, you need to have the characteristics of courage, right? Or to be a delegator, or to you know, to hold strong to your integrity, or one gratitude, or, you know, a negotiator. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things, and depending on your goal, it's going to require different things, right? So if the bigger the goal, more likely there is the more of these you'll need. And that's why I said to pick a big goal. But if you pick a smaller goal, then maybe you need 5 things instead of 10, right? So whatever it is you choose, go ahead and choose that, right? Whatever the amount is that you've chosen, how many of our characteristics that you've written down, and you may start with 5 and build as you grow. So it doesn't have to be 10 right away, because you may figure out along the way, oh, I don't have that resource yet, or that characteristic. So let me add that to my list and then take it through this process, right? So step number 1, we pick that goal or intention or life objective. Step number 2, we get at least, I'm going to say at least 5 characteristics instead of 10. At least 5 characteristics you need to embody in order to achieve that goal. Step number 3 is make it your mission in the next 90 days or less. Challenge yourself, right? Or even take the challenge on and tell us in the chat or in the group the challenge that you're accepting, and take on a mission in the next 90 days or less to seek out one person for each of those characteristics. Right? Someone who is already embodying that characteristics in that way that you admire. Okay, so if you have 5, for example, right, then on this step 3, you'll be searching for 5 different people to match each of those characteristics. Again, don't try to, because if you try to find someone who's got them all, again, all the eggs in one basket, not a good idea. Second reason is that may be a tall order to find, and you may never find that person. So you'll never be able to get to the objective that you want, right? So pick 5 different people so that they're isolated to that particular thing. You know, you can go to that person for that particular thing, as Ross was talking about earlier. Okay. Step 4, share your goal, objective, or intention with each of those people separately and ask them if they'd be willing to be a part of your championship dream team, right? By exercising their power, we'll call it, you want them to exercise their superpower of whatever that characteristics you saw in them, right? So you're going to ask them, to be a part of your dream team, and then ask, what can I do? If they accept, you ask, what can I do for you in return, right? Because again, Ross talked, it's a two-way street, right? So example, if you have integrity on your list and you have a relative who has solid integrity, right? And you've admired that, you'd share your goal with that person and you'd say, so I'm sharing this because I'm looking to build a championship team to help me achieve this goal, this objective, this life purpose, whatever it is. And I think you have a superpower of integrity. And I'd really appreciate it if you could help me, be my integrity monitor, right? Or teach me how to be more in integrity. And all I need you to do is check in from time to time to make sure I'm not compromising my own integrity, on my way to achieving this thing. Right? Or be willing to hear me out on things that I need to check in with myself, right? Would you be willing to do that for me? And what can I do for you in return? What superpower do you see in me that I can offer to you to help you to achieve what you want? And you do this with each of the 5 people. Right? So it's not a group thing, which Ross said is hard to keep, right? So you do this with each of them, right? And then step 5 is you check in with each person at least once every 30 days until you achieve your outcome. Okay? That's it. Just keep it simple. 5 simple steps, right? Check in at least once. You can do more if you want. If you have an accountability partner, that's one of them. That's probably one I would say, like Ross, that's more frequent than once a month, but once a month is better than none a month, right? So start with that and build up so that you get more comfortable in you. Because what will happen is when you do this monthly one, you're going to want more of that. You're going to, that felt pretty good. And you're going to want to do more than just once a month. So I'm starting you off with something that I believe is attainable and doable and setting you up for success. Because once you succeed with that, success grows and builds success. So you get successful doing once a month for 90 days, and you're like, next 90 days, you're like, well, once a month, maybe I need to touch base with that person a little bit more because more things are going, things are accelerating. And so you'll need to be in touch with them more. And you may find that, that at some point that person that had that characteristic, they may need to move on because their life circumstances allow for that and their path is different. Or you may need to move on to someone different because what they're offering you no longer serves you the way that you need to be served. And that's okay. Do an honorable and integral release from that and move on to someone else. Right? And you can do this for small goals and for the bigger, larger life goals. Okay. You can also do this for a few different goals at a time. So you don't have to stick with just one thing. You can do this a few at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself, but you can do this for 2 or 3 at a time. And then you have this team that's like, whoa, I can go this person for that. And you have these. If you're going to do it with multiple, make sure you never double up on a person with any particular goal. So meaning once you use that integrity person on one goal, you can't use him or her on another goal that needs integrity until that first one is achieved. So you need to find someone else to fill that role. All right. And you can at any time fire a team member if they fall short and don't give you the type of support that you need. It's okay. Right? Notice I said type of support you need, not type of support you want. because they're two different things, right? You may want someone to coddle you and hug you and be a little bit more lenient and flexible, but you may need someone who's giving you the tough love with integrity from the heart, right? And so this is a good start to creating and building your infinity hacking team that's going to help you to master your reality, your whole reality experience, and assure the evolution of your spirit. Okay, so with that, I know we went a little over time today, and thanks for sticking around and being patient with the tech stuff that went on. We'll blame Ross for that. Let me get that in first before I blame him. Hold on, let me switch that out. There we go. Okay. All right, Ross. So we're blaming.
You know I can still hear you, right?
No, so, yeah. So that's the let's put out the collective intention to make 2021 a year filled with health, healing, love, compassion, and evolution for the entire planet. Let's put that out collectively.
Absolutely.
Celebrating the New Year's Eve if you're on the Gregorian calendar and that's what you choose to celebrate tonight, then be safe and hug, love, and appreciate those around you. Remember also the replay will be in the group under units. If you're not a part of the group by now, what the heck are you doing? Get on the group, get in there.
Exactly.
Group, you can choose to be part of the VIP if you want. And we'll also in the units, we'll summarize the steps in a graphic and post it later today, wherever this is being shown. All right. Anything you got, Russ? I'm just going to look through the comments here while I do that.
Yeah. Happy New Year, everybody. I've never been much on New Year's resolutions, but I think 2021 is going to be an amazing year. I know the plans that Gary and I have for you are through the roof. And you think it's been cool up to now, just wait. We're constantly just jazzed. We're constantly, messaging each other. What do you think of this? What do you think of this? Oh, I just thought about this. So, and it's like, well, all right, that's cool. That resonates. How do we make this work? What do we need to do to make this work? And so lots of good stuff. We've got a masterclass that we're developing right now. That's going to come out very, very soon.
That's the intention.
Kind of dropping some hints to people, on the page, that's, it's going to be really, really freaking cool. So, we're just so excited and I want to share this. I'm sharing this excitement because I want you to be excited about your projects too. And we want to be part of your projects. So, that enthusiasm gets you through. It just gets you right through the entire year because you have something to look forward to. And it doesn't have to be a big project. It can be a project around the house. It can be, something that you're doing with your significant other. I mean, it can be virtually anything, just as long as you are excited about it. And that emotion does what? It brings more of it to you. Okay, it resonates with the matrix. And that's what it recognizes. It recognizes your emotional energy. And that's where we're going to just keep pushing this and pushing this on you and reminding you. So change your self-talk. Your self-talk should be very energetic. Find your music, find your motto. And you get those in place, and then all of a sudden, we've activated your reticular activating system. So now you're going to start noticing more of the people that are around you, and if there's somebody that you meet and you just resonate, hey, can I buy you a cup of coffee? And who knows where that'll go. But synchronicity is going to be incredibly active in your life. It already has. We're getting reports all the time.
It is, and even if those, and I mean, it's happening all the time. It's just what we're doing is we're helping to bring awareness of it, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Yes.
It's not that it's going to increase. It's happening. It's happening a lot.
You're going to notice it increasing. Yes.
Yeah. And then it becomes acknowledgement of, hey, I am hacking this matrix. Hey, this is, something that we can shift, alter, transform, and utilize for, the greater good. So, all right, everybody. So once again, Happy New Year, and we will see you.
Thank you very much.
Live stream.
See you next week.
Someone had mentioned, I think it was Paula, had mentioned how she can be part of this team. This team meaning Infinity Matrix. Head over to the group. The link is facebook.com/groups/the Infinity Matrix. The link will add in the comments as well, and we will be responding to comments. Please continue to share all the great stuff wherever you're seeing this. Start to watch more in the group and get the stream from there as we start to migrate and populate more and more content there. All right.
Okay, Sheba. Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We appreciate everybody that's been on. Enjoy your evening tonight. For those of you that have already,
I think there's some.
There's some that have already had tonight, last night. So anyhow, I'm getting confused. Anyhow, have a great one.
Yeah.
Be safe.
All right.